In this example, we're going to show a couple of signs being made with EnRoute software. So I'm going to start a new file here, and as part of that process, I'm just going to define a new plate size of 4 by 4 by 0.25, just to give myself a plate there. And actually, no, that's probably a little bigger than I want to go. Let's go 36 by 24. All right. So now we've got a plate size on here. Now I'm going to go to the text tool. I'm going to select a font here I like, something that looks kind of has a little thickness to it. All right, and this is a text I'm going to use, but I'm actually going to come here first now and draw a circle here. So I'm not being too specific, just trying to fill up the most of the inside part of this material. Now I'm going to go to the text tool, and instead of clicking on screen, I'm going to click here on the circle itself, and now the text is going to apply along the circle. Currently I'm going to the inside of the circle, so I'm going to hit this little icon here. Now we're going to go to the outside, and let's move it up a little bit, and I'm going to type in City of Edmonton. I realize here I have an extra D there, so Edmonton. All right, I think I have it right there, Edmonton. All right, now what we're going to do is come here and select our text tool. Maybe make it a little bit bigger or smaller if we want to. I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. Maybe make it about a 4-inch nominal height, and that would be the tallest any of the letters in that area get. Now I'm going to come here and go to the edit tool that will allow me to change either the start point here by clicking on this little green point, and possibly also changing the spacing in between it by clicking on this red icon here. So we're going to put City of Edmonton here, and I can click and bring down a guideline if I want to help me make sure that when I'm doing this, I can make sure the beginning and the ending are on the same spot there. So that one looks good. Now I'm going to right click this and delete this guideline. So now we're going to take this circle and we're going to go to the outline tool, and let's do an outer contour here, a single one. Let's make it about 4 inches, and I see that's a bit tall, so I can just come here and hit my down arrow key till I get it so just where it's intersecting these contours. I think I'll do one more here. And now it seems to be going right along the top of all this text. So I'll apply a line there. And now this inner line here, I'm going to do one more outline here. This one we'll just do maybe 0.02, just so that we're rising a little bit above the bottom of these parts here. So let's say 0.08 maybe. All right, that looks pretty good. So that's going to become my baseline part. Now sometimes it's easy to select these, and if I come here now I can convert these to curves, which will convert it to blue and red. Now it's just shapes, and I can select here and go to my combine tool or my weld tool. I'm just going to hit the first one there, and that's going to weld away this outer part. Now when I select this other part, it's going to be a little bit trickier, so this one I'm going to have to trim away. I'm going to come here and use the trim tool to boundaries, all boundaries. We're just going to start at this one corner here, then use some of the tools to move around and get to the next parts here. Hit my shift key will allow me to get right back into the trim tool, and so I'm just trimming away the top of each of these letters as it relates to that outer border that I created. I could also just use the zoom tool here to zoom out with my scroll wheel, and then scroll back in right on the cursor, so I can make it easy to select just what I want to select. All right, now we've gone all the way, so we've created the inner and outer parts here. Now we can draw a circle, so I'm going to go to the Draw Arc tool here. I'm going to turn on my Snap to Center of Arc for a second, just to get that started, and then I'll turn it off. Now I can just kind of eye this up a little bit. And I'm going to do this one more time. So we'll go to the circle tool, turn on the center part, come here and turn it off. And I could be more specific, of course, if I wanted to take the time to measure it really carefully. But now I'm going to merge this all back together. And if I did a good job of trimming my parts, it'll all turn blue and red, which is what I want to see. And if I didn't have something quite right, it would show up as a pink line, possibly. Now, I might even want to come in here and get rid of some of these little points like that. If I was really going to cut this, I wouldn't have those little points like that. So I just go to the point edit mode and delete those. And now, once I have this object, I can create a copy of it, resize it to any size I want. Just by clicking and dragging, it's going to keep everything in proportion there if I hit the shift key. If I wanted to put a path on these, then I could come up here to my curve compensation. I have saved here a previous one where I'm using a 0.06 curve thickness. I have an entry and exit it, and I want to hit OK here. I can hit F9 now and see that the start points are going to not cut into my area here, and I could cut this part out if I want to. So here's one example of a sign you could make. Now here's something else that's would be interesting. I'll just place this one inside there. Is if we were to vectorize a bitmap here, and here we have a city of Edmonton bitmap. I'm going to vectorize this. That's going to convert it from a picture into some geometries here that I could cut. Now if I wanted to get something like this, I'll just come here and ungroup this, and for this one I'm going to get rid of this little part. If I wanted to make this one continuous part down here, I would just need to draw a little rectangle that went along the bottom here of these parts. Alright, so this is already connected here. Of course, if I wanted to make that connection a little bit bigger, I'd just come and grab this and scoot it away a little bit just by grabbing those points. And I'm going to select all these now and hit my weld, and now that would all just weld into one continuous part. So now you do have an issue here where if we had this cut, you could have the cutouts here and everything would be fine. Sometimes you have a situation where you need to let's say if we didn't want to combine these quite like this, so we'll go ahead and do it this way again and combine this. But another way would be as if you were to want to have this particular part cut out and then cut out maybe a sheet around it. So in a situation where you have blue and red, that's fine. The other blues are going to fall away. So here we can draw, we can come up with any kind of way we want to, whether it be a rectangle or something with a little bit of an angle to it. So here I just do a little part. Now I'm going to hit my control key and use the same one here a couple times. Now what I need to do is go to the trim tool, say two boundaries, all boundaries, and just go straight up the middle here and trim away any of those sections of a letter that would cause something to fall. So I want to get rid of those internal blue contours. Now when I select this and I merge it back together, I just want to see blue and red, not blue, red, blue, which I see now, and a toolpath that would cut this out now would keep these together as inside and outside contours. All right, some other things you can do here is let's go back to our city of Edmonton. I'm going to vectorize this one once again. All right, so we've got our part here, and so there's some interesting things we can do here. I'm going to ungroup this. Let's take this up here and make this bigger. All right, now we're going to take this one and come here to one of the distortion tools. We're going to hold the shift key down and click on each of the four corners. Drag this down a bit and hit the enter key, and we'll see that we created a little bit of a wave there. So that in conjunction with if we wanted to use this again, maybe we could bring the middle part of this up a little bit and give it a little bit of a bridge here as well. So just different ways you can manipulate the contours. Now I might come here and create a line that goes right along here. And let's select this shape, maybe move it up just a little bit. So I'm going to take all this and combine that. The loops will just, EnRoute will do its best to get rid of that. Then I can come here and let's say go to point edit mode. And oops, yeah, accidentally moved something I didn't want to move, so I'll just undo that and did it again. Alright, so we're going to go to the point edit mode here and start moving these up a little bit. So that's going to become the connection then between this contour and these contours. So I'll weld that together. Now we need a little something to go along here. So I'm just going to create a line here. Go here and make this a curve. That'll give me some handles that I can use to just make this line go all the way up. Alright, and we'll select this. Let's ungroup that so I can get just this letter. Oh, it is connected there already, so that's good. Alright, so then I can just come here and do this one more time. I didn't realize that was selected there, but this will make it easy to just go in there and touch the bottom of all these. Alright, so now I'm going to make a little copy of this one. I could have offset it as well. I'll use the join contours tool here to just join this together. And now we'll just drag a box around these shapes and do a weld here, and then we've welded all these together. And now just have to find a little way to connect these last few parts, whether it's with a continuation of this here. So we'll weld that and weld that, and you can just see here how it's easy to get in there and spend as much time as you want to get a design looking just right. And actually, so I think what I'm going to do here is just make this one go right along the same path there. Alright, and I'll make this just a little bit bigger. Alright, so that's just the process of going through here and showing you how you can use EnRoute to vectorize logos, to make signs, and to do a lot of different creative applications.